So, I just watched the first episode of DC's newest TV show, Lanterns, and I'm not going to lie, it was pretty amazing. So, here are my full spoiler-filled thoughts on episode 1 of Lanterns. Right from the very start of the episode, I was already locked in. I like how we start in 1996. We get to see kind of Hal Jordan in his prime wearing the classic Green Lantern suit, doing interviews on TV. And again, this does tell us in this DC universe. People have known about superheroes for a long time. They're just in the public eye. Very cool way to throw us into this first episode. And you get to see John Stewart as a kid, obviously watching this on TV. And then just immediate abrupt cut to current day where you see John Stewart officially now being the trainee of Hal Jordan. And Hal Jordan is just kind of washed up at this point. He's kind of over it. He's not wearing the suit anymore. He's got a big ego. He's goofing around all the time. He was off on some planet for a week. And I'm already loving their dynamic between these two characters for this entire first episode. It just felt so natural and perfect, honestly. And they're both likable in their own very stubborn and just unlikable ways. And just a scene of Hal Jordan be like, "Yeah, I'm getting out of this car." He leaves the ring on the dashboard, dives out of it. That is just peak from the series already. I absolutely love that opening. Also get to see Hal Jordan from 10 years ago because he was uploaded into Hal's ring and John Stewart's talking to him. And he's like, "Yo, you got to go tell Kerr and me that there is hail in Rushville, Nebraska." And when Kerr and Hale hears this, he just immediately flies off the city. And then they kind of have the funny gag of John Stewart, who doesn't know how to fly yet, literally has to just go to the airport, drive there like a regular person. But again, loving the vibes and how quickly we jump into the mystery, because immediately we're at this football field, there's people dead, they got shot, and we're just like, okay, what happened? Hal Jordan is just like, "Dude, I'm telling you it's aliens and nobody believes him." Obviously, I'm not going to go frame for frame breaking on the entire episode or anything, but again, absolutely love this dynamic between these two. The conversation in the bar. We get to hear about Hal's origin story, and I thought that was really cool to hear all about that. I'm sure if you're more into Green Lantern lore, there was probably some little drops in there that you're probably going crazy over. I'm not going to lie, kind of a Green Lantern lore. I got to get more into their comic. But Hal was really just winning me over this entire episode. He's so likable in an unlikable way. That's the only way I can describe it. It's kind of like that early Tony Stark kind of vibe. He's kind of douchey a lot of times, but him intentionally getting in the bar fight and counterfeiting the money with his ring. Then immediately be like, "Yo, this ring is a very serious weapon. You got to be very careful when you use it." That stuff is just so subtly funny. And of course, then you have this man, John Stewart, an absolute dog, sleeping with this woman who we then find out is actually the wife of this one family, that entire McKinnon Moan. I forget how to pronounce their name, but that entire family, obviously, they seem very weird. I'm not going to lie, I don't really trust them, even though they were right about this being aliens. Up until this point in the episode, I was really enjoying everything I was watching. Like I said, the character dynamics are great. The mystery had me intrigued in what was going on. It was a really solid episode and not mind-blowing or anything. But then we get to a part in this episode at the very end that completely upped this to another level for me. And that is the entire interrogation scene of Hale talking to this random guy. And obviously Hale's convinced this guy's an alien. He's asking him questions about his truck and football. And this guy knows everything about football and the history of the school and stuff. But then he asks him "Oh, where did Harry Potter go to school?" And this guy has no clue. And that's the first tell wait, something's wrong about this guy. He might actually be an alien because he studied up on very specific things. But he doesn't know the general knowledge. Then he gets him on the Barack Obama part, which was honestly hilarious and genius. This guy literally starts reading off a chat GPT summer of "Oh yeah, Barack Obama. He followed George Bush and people have problems with his birth certificate. There's drama around that." And Hal's "Oh yeah, you actually are an alien." And then of course the guy's "Oh yeah, I am an alien. And also I can just detonate myself and blow up this entire town." Hal puts the bubble around them. Boom. End of episode. Or at least you think. But no, this entire episode takes place in 2016. And we jump back to the end, and it's John Stewart pulling up to the same football field in the wintertime in 2026. And then he goes and sees Hale sitting on the bleachers bleeding. He's like covered in snow. Then the episode just ends. So I have to come back. They have me absolutely intrigued. Really great first episode. I'm giving it a very strong 8 out of 10.